All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. I know I've had a pretty good one here. Been busy, staying busy as always. All right. Lighting's looking actually better tonight. Good. Awesome. See here. Welcome, Tara. Good to see you again. Oni-chan, welcome. Halloween, good to see you. Satchel, welcome. Ingrid, good evening. Luna, welcome. Jade, good to see you as well. All right. We've already got a house full in here tonight. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. Lets YouTube know you like the work we're doing. You like seeing our content. Also, feel free to drop a comment below. Comments really go a long way to helping that algorithm as well. I apologize for being a hair late. Not too bad, honestly. That's good. So, tell you y'all, I have had a really good weekend. Still hitting those workouts that I started recently. So I'm feeling a lot better. Getting more active. That's always nice. I've really missed working out, actually. I don't know. It shows you how busy you can get in your life that you set something to the side that feels like an extra, and in many ways it is, but at the same time, it's something you like. It's something you actually enjoy doing, and you really wonder why'd you set that aside. So, looking forward to getting into some more workouts and actually building myself back up, because I'll admit right now it is kicking my rear getting back into it, and I wish I hadn't let myself get as bad out of shape as I have. Got people telling me I'm not as bad out of shape as some of them and all that, and I get that. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody. Not better than you or anything. It's just I have to compare myself to me and where I once was and where I'd like to be again. That's all. See, we got some comments popping up. Good evening, everyone. Ona-chan, good to hear you're working out. Good to hear it. Merrick, hey man, been a while. Glad to see you. Welcome back. Cassie, hello. Oh, we got a busy night in here tonight. That's what I like to see. Let's see. Sierra, you're absolutely right. It is good. It's best to be strong in body, spirit, and mind. They all three do interact together, so that is actually really important. And it's an area that a lot of magicians overlook. Too many rely on the fantasy trope of magicians being weak. That's really shouldn't be the norm. Let's see what we got. Bornaldus, welcome. Good to see you made it, man. Lalika, welcome. Miss Weeks, good to see you again as well. Well, you drive safe to work, Ms. Weeks. I'm glad you let us know that you're here, and I hope you enjoy listening on your way to work. Ona-chan, you want to start a paranormal club at your school? Any ideals? Well, honestly, that's a really great idea. The big critique I would put to it is definitely keep it to the science. You got a lot of paranormal groups and clubs that they completely toss out science. They completely toss out the concept of debunking, and they just run down the spiritual faith line, and anything and everything's evidence of spiritual existence, which that's not the best way to go about it. In fact, almost the last 8 paranormal groups I've encountered, actual investigation, they didn't give a crap about. Everything was evidence of a spirit. Everything, doors moving, orbs. And I went in there with them as part of the group and ended up, well, one of them really bad, ticking them off because I took a basic level, checked the door was unlevel. Ironically, it was unlevel in exactly the way that would make it swing the way it has been swinging, so no ghost. And all their orbs were from a drop ceiling basement. For those of you who don't know what a drop ceiling is, if you've ever been in a hospital or a school that has that tile ceiling on those little aluminum frame looking things, that's a drop ceiling. And they are the worst for dust, absolute worst. So they took a picture of me, no orbs. I reached up, flipped one of the tiles, they took a picture of me. Orbs everywhere that matched the exact picture of all their orbs to the letter. So if you are going to do the paranormal club, I think that is an excellent ideal for school. I know a student of mine started one in her school, and they have a lot of fun with it. The science teacher even actually participates in it, and they do stick to the research, and they do seek debunking as well as evidence that they can't necessarily explain. But they do a tremendously good job with that one. And the fact that the science teacher is actually on board with them, and the concept of research, it allows it to be a really educational experience as well. So, yeah, that would be my ideals. And do talk to your science teachers. See if they can't help to gravitate it toward research. That way, you know, the scientific method can actually be further taught and ingrained into the students in the club, which is a really good thing. Merrick, I've been slacking way too much on my magic. Merrick, we all hit those points. We really do. Even me. Even me. I actually hit those points too. Um, so, I mean, we all have those little down periods. The big thing is get back on the horse and get to researching. Let's see. Kelly Dalla Stella. Hi there. Finally able to join again. How are you? How are you all guys? Kelly, me myself, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Can't actually complain. Um, finally got over that cough. So yay there, people. Um, let's see. I'm trying to get some videos. We was a little behind on videos there for a while, but we're trying to get caught back up, get ahead, and get some classes filmed. All in all, I'm doing really good though. I've had a really good week. Had a few rough spots. Still got a long night ahead of me tonight, but doing good. And I hope you are doing well as also, Kelly. Let's see, Mara, coming back to Dragon Magic, everything's harder than before. America can. Honestly, it's weird. I've equated it to working out. The first time you start working out always feels easier than when you fall off and come back to it. I personally don't know the exact reasons for this, but there does seem to be at least a correlation there. But don't worry, Merrick. If you get on the horse and just get after it, you'll find out that you'll fall back into your normal stride real quickly. Welcome, Wasabi. Better late than never, man. No problem. Let's see. Ingrid Vasquez. Can I ask your advice on what to do with a book that is ripped on the outside but still good on the inside? Yeah. Interesting question, actually. Hold on, guys. My chair's acting weird tonight. Yeah, actually, one of the things I used to do is I'd actually either get some thin kind of press board from the Home Depot, or actually, I've even done this with cardboard. And I'd actually, use duct tape and cardboard and reinforce the cover and the spine. You can probably find YouTube videos on it now. And you can literally rebuild the cover of that book with cardboard and duct tape. And from there, you can actually decorate it however you want. One of the things a friend of mine did actually when he done this was he took a latex spray sealant called Plasti Dip. And after the duct tape was done, he taped off the pages of the book so he didn't get none on that. And he went over the outside of the cover too, got him a nice base layer down that he was able to paint and decorate as he wanted. Turned out absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that would be what I would do, Ingrid. And like I said, you check out YouTube. I'm sure somebody has a how to fix the cover on a book with cardboard and duct tape. But I've done that to many, many, many books. Because y'all know I'm hard on stuff. I try to get stuff that I know is going to last, but sometimes that just don't happen. And that, busts down the duct tape. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I still have the new camera up. It's a little better lit. I'm going to actually, the last camera would flare so bad, the light's been kind of over here. But I'm thinking with the new camera, I need to actually get my light straight back behind the camera because I'm getting this dark spot over here that's annoying me. And maybe I'll even hide those rosy cheeks a bit more. Then again, it might make them show out more. I don't know. Those come from all the laughing and smiling, though, so that's okay. Let's see. You can smooch them. Oh, thank you, Tara. Well said, Halloween. That is well said. It's easier to stay on track than it is to get moving again. Let's see. Hey, Peachy, glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Hope you got you some tea or coffee. Ona-chan asked a question about reincarnation. Do we choose when we reincarnate? That is actually a yes and no question, Oni-chan. There are situations and times where, yes, you may get to choose that. And there are situations and times where you're just kind of thrown in there because you have a lesson to learn, and like it or not, time to get off your duff and go learn it. So that is actually a yes or no. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's not 100%. Let's see what we got here. See, Wasabi, direct today about your dragon course. I'm going to jump right in, and it should take me 6 months to finish. Hope the 102 is out before then. Okay, yeah, Wasabi, definitely. Congrats on purchasing that. And yeah, I hope you really do enjoy it. It should take at least 6 months to finish that, if not a little longer. If we stay on the timetable, we don't have any technological problems like lightning hitting the computer again or some weird crap like that. Yeah, it should be out within the 6 month period. Because my goal currently is April or May. So yeah, it should be out by then. And if it takes you longer than 6 months, don't worry about it. Take your time. Enjoy the 101. Merrick says considering buying some merch. By all means do, Merrick. It definitely helps the channel out. And I can tell you right now, the coffee cups are really good quality. You all have seen the Dragon's Eye artistic one and just the plain Dragon's Eye one. I drink out of those things practically all the time. My wife recently got me this for Christmas, so I have been using it a bit more, especially since she's been away. I tend to gravitate toward things she gets me when she's away. But I've put those cups through the ringer over the last year, and they still look brand spanking new. It amazes me the quality of those. As well as the tapestry and the wall hangings, they look absolutely gorgeous too. I'm really impressed by them. So definitely. And if you do, thank you, Merrick, very much. It definitely helps the channel out a lot. Don't worry, I don't think I can hide. It's kind of hard to hide my face and be on camera. Well, I guess I come on here and look like one of those creepy conspiracy theorist people, right? You know, like, but yeah, we all know I ain't gonna do that. Let's see. You got water and salami because your girl's dehydrated. Hey, well, if you're dehydrated, get you some water. And salami sounds really good right about now. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds good. Kelly had a question about South and North. Sure, shoot. I'll do my best to answer it, depending on what the question is. Hey man, the dragons I seal, both the small and large canvases look absolutely great. The cups are beautiful, and well, the wall hangings, I fell in love with that thing. I really did. And yes, Magician Girl 999, aka Peachy, is correct. Take your time with the 101. 6 months is actually the minimum, but make sure you take the time you need and really put into it because building those relationships is important. Don't take any shortcuts. And there's Halloween talking about those mugs. I forgot she got one. Oh, which reminds me, we do still actually have a couple of the Halloween 2020 mugs available, as well as the Yule mugs. So if you're wanting to get any of the limited edition mugs, get those now before they're gone. It looks like by February, the Halloween one will be completely unavailable. So if you want it, get it quick. They won't be there much longer. Wasabi, have you been spooked by your own servitor? Just, yeah, I mean, you get your jump scares from just about anything. Over time, jump scares tend to lessen, but yeah, back in the day, it used to happen because I keep my arcane senses open all the time. You get this weird ideal these days that you got to close your arcane senses down, and people's like, well, I don't want to see the entities because I don't want them to see me. And it's like, just because you close your eyes don't mean they can't see you. They can still see you. So I'm of a mind, it's like if it can see me, I want to see it. But yeah, no, it happens to people. It really does. Wasabi. Don't feel bad there. Let's see, Kelly. In your opinion, should we celebrate the Sabbath all the same, like Yule in 2112, both north and south, or should we celebrate depending on the season? Oh, that's a really good question, Kelly. Now here's my personal take on that. Both of the Sabbats are actually based around seasonal celebrations and the movement of the sun. So I'm actually of an opinion that you should celebrate them according to the hemisphere you're in. Yule does not follow the same day based on whether you're in the north or the southern hemisphere. So I actually would go ahead and celebrate them according to the hemisphere you're in as the primary, because that's when the energies are going to align to those specific festivals, personally speaking. This is also why you'll notice the Fey courts switch north and south hemispheres based upon that same thing. So right now, Tatiana and the Summer Court or the Seelie took charge of the northern hemisphere at Yule, whereas the Winter Court, Mab, or the Unseelie moved to the southern hemisphere. So they'll follow those little energy patterns, which is all part of the balance, which is all part of those natural currents, those natural cycles. And though a magician can shape energy as he sees fit, that is true, it's a lot easier to swim with the current than against the current. So personally, I would celebrate it according to the hemisphere you're in as your primary. But there's nothing wrong with also celebrating it if you have family in a hemisphere that separates. You may not do your rituals or anything. You just may have the feast and whatnots, and maybe exchange gifts if that's the case. Because I know we got friends and family across the globe these days, so you may run into that situation. But I'd save the ritual celebration for when it actually matches up with the season, unless, and this is one caveat I put on that. If you happen to be in a group that does ritual via streaming or on live, there's more and more groups that are doing that these days. Then yeah, by all means, go ahead and do, because you could have members in both hemispheres. Go ahead and take part in those rituals for sure, because it's always good to support the group you work with if you're working with a group. Does that help answer your question, Kelly, and not confuse you, I hope? Ingrid, what's my take on wands? Honestly, I kind of like wands. They're a tool. If that's making sure I understand the question here, but I do view them as a tool. And I just realized I did not silence that. That's okay. We'll fix that real quick. They're a tool. Just like a hammer, there's not a lot special about them. They help you direct energy. They help you focus energy. But they are just a tool. You don't need one. You don't require one. In fact, I don't have my students use a wand at all for the first part of their training. I would rather them learn to direct and control energy on their own. But I do actually enjoy them. I like wands because I can shove them down in my bag. Easy to transport, easy to travel. So they are kind of my go-to for travel, whereas like canes would be my next one. I love my staff. It is my favorite tool. Don't get me wrong on that. But it does not travel well at all. It's a pain to travel with. There are times I will travel with it, but it's a pain. J-Moo, howdy from Austin, Texas. It's snowing very hard here. Really? Wow. Howdy, Jay. Good to see you. Stay safe in that snow, man. We haven't even seen a flake here. I got the feeling we'll pass all winter without seeing one. Merrick, do dragons and fae interact a lot? Yes, actually, I've not found an entity dragons don't interact with positively in some fashion. And dragons do help the fae a lot, as the fae also help the dragons with the larger balance of the multiverse. So you will find dragons that work almost full time in the fae realms. Some of them have even actually built layers within the fae realms. But yeah, they do work together quite a bit. Ingrid, definitely. Would you say it's more air or fire? Okay. Honestly, I don't really associate my tools with a particular element over one or the other, Ingrid, because again, it is a tool. It really and largely depends on the energy you're using to move with it. Now, as a ritual item within some traditions, it is used to represent air or fire. And different traditions have different reasons for this. In one, it's wood, wood burns, and it's also channeling large amounts of energy, therefore, they associate it with fire. In some, they associate it with air because air is highly present within the trees. Trees are actually one of the first places we actually visually actually experience air. And air has a large interaction with plant life. And it has that flexibility to it. I go back and forth on this one, Ingrid. This one has always been really hard for me. But here's my kicker on it. The one they switch out with it is usually the sword or the athame. So because of that, I usually associate wands with air and the athame with fire, because the wand is still a structural piece of wood. It has not been burned. It has not been consumed by fire. So it has more in common with air than fire, in my opinion. Whereas I have forged many a knife. I have worked on anvils quite a bit in my life. I'm growing up on a farm. Because of that, I know the amount of heat and fire that a piece of metal has to be exposed to shape it. So metal's going to be associated with fire to me, far, far more than air. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth on that, Ingrid. I hope that helps you somewhat. Kelly, thanks, Drake. I'm from the South and celebrate according to seasons, but in my circles, some celebrate according to tradition. It's a nice way to honor the tradition and ancestors. Thanks. No problem. I'm glad I could help there, Kelly. Mom waved to my phone because she heard your voice. Oh, hi, kitty. Tell your mom I said hi. Let's see. Wasabi, I asked, could a wand be made of candy? I think that would be interesting thought. You could use, like, let's go with this thought for a little bit here, Wasabi. Yes, you could use, say, a candy cane or something as a wand, but I would not actually make a long-term wand out of something like candy, because the more fragile the material, the more likely it is to get damaged, and then you're just out all that energy that you've put into that tool. So yes, you could use a candy cane in a pinch. In fact, I won't lie, I've done it. You can use anything that's in a pinch as a stand-in wand almost. But I wouldn't use it as a long-term wand. But yes, you could do that. Ingrid, absolutely. Been reading about it in a book and got into the details of how it applies to both when using it for altars. Yes, and that's the kicker, Ingrid. It comes down to those altars and a lot of the spiritual side. I do try to stay up on the spiritual side of things somewhat. Well, originally that was my background. I actually was a bit more religious and spiritual for a while. Y'all know I stick more to the science of magic these days, but I also try to stay abreast on the information there so that when asked, because inevitably you work in magic, you're going to get asked, that I can answer those. But that is my 2 cents on it, Ingrid, and I hope that helps some and gives you my reasonings too. Let's see. Animal Man, welcome. Oh, Lord. We're running out of coffee on a coffee hour, people. We can't have a magical coffee hour around the coffee. There we go. All right, now we're ready. Animal Man, when people talk about the vibration stage and astral projection, what are they talking about? They're trying to sound smarter than they are. Honestly. But anytime you're moving through the astral plane, when you move into any plane, whether you mean to do it or not, you will match the vibrations of that plane. Example, you move into the earth plane, your energetic vibration is going to get denser because you've moved into that plane. When you move into the fire plane, your energetic vibration is going to get higher because you moved into that plane. That's naturally going to happen, Animal Man, when you move in or out of any plane. And in fact, I know a lot of magicians who honestly believe a lot of people teach this energetic vibration stage concept to complicate it and get more money, because astral travel really is not that complicated. I personally have not actually met a astral travel teacher who uses that term just yet. So I can't really agree with the other magicians as to why it's being taught that way just yet. But I can say it's not a necessary thing. It's just a matter of, can you get out of your body? And that has next to nothing to do with energetic vibrations at all, because you will match the vibrations of whatever plane you originally project on. Now, I do teach that you should project straight to either your astral sanctum or the material plane first. And if you're doing that, whatever vibration your body's at, both those two locations will automatically match. No problem. And then when you move into whatever plane you decide to go to after that, you'll naturally match it anyways. So it's complicating something that shouldn't be complicated. And I do kind of agree with the magicians when they say they're people trying to sound smarter than they are. Or they're just trying to overcomplicate it for an unknown reason. I will say an unknown reason, because I don't want to say they're just price gouging, but they might be. I don't know. I hope that helps somewhat, Animal Man. And for all those people I pissed off on that particular answer, I apologize, but sorry, not sorry. Because it's not. Okay, that's my fault. There we go, fix it. But it's really not that complicated. I have taught well over 200 students astral projection, and I'm still in contact with most of them, and they are having a very fantastic practice and manifesting the lives they want. So if it was more complicated than that, something would have to fall apart somewhere. And so far, nothing has fell apart yet. So let's see what else we got. If you were to eat the candy cane wand afterwards, what would happen? You would actually imbibe and take in the energy of the subject you were working with. So, for example, if you were doing a ritual for prosperity and everything was focused on prosperity, the energy moving through the candy cane would also be attuned on prosperity. And just like charging a liquid and then imbuing it after the ritual, you'd be taking that same energy into yourself, Halloween. Great question, actually. Really good question. Who would have thought we end up on candy cane wands up here in the coffee hour today? Especially after Christmas. That's a conversation we should have had at Christmas. Let's see. Do Fey dragons exist? They're usually small dragon-like beings. Then, okay, Fey dragons in the concept of World of Warcraft or D&D do not exist. However, there are dragons that specifically focus on working with the Fey and Fey energies, the same way you got dragons that focus on fire and the fire element. Now, we call those dragons fire dragons, don't we? So, there are dragons that are referred to as Fey dragons. And they do tend to take on aspects that are very similar to the Fey wilds, coloring patterns and the likes. Even some of their wings tend to become less leathery. I really don't even know how to explain it, because it's not like a fairy wing. I don't want to say fairy wing because that's not what it is. It's somewhere in between. But they are not, some of them are tiny by age, but they don't stay tiny. So there are Fey dragons, but they're not the little cutesy-wootsy little things that you see in Warcraft or in D&D, which are the two biggest references people keep sending me. There's got to be other Fey dragons referenced somewhere out there, but yeah, they do technically exist, Tara. So, and Halloween beat me to it anyway. Halloween's on top of it tonight. Let's see what we got. Oni-chan, what would you say shadow people are? As I've seen a few around the school, which are used. Okay, when it comes to shadow people, I've done paranormal investigations for 20 plus years now. And every time I get called in on shadow people, rarely is it the same thing. Now, I know people will say shadow people are these vile, negative, hurtful entities that will seek to destroy. And they start sounding a lot more like Daleks from Doctor Who. Um, Honestly, in 20 years of investigating shadow people, I've never encountered those, not once. However, there are two major things I have encountered that do present shadow people like activity. One is essentially thought forms that are created from emotional energy that take on the form of a humanoid shape and just doesn't have any details to it whatsoever, therefore creating a shadow person in the environment. These are actually very, very common at schools because kids are emotional. And they're doubly common at middle schools and high schools because of puberty. Just like poltergeist activity um, falls around that emotional time of growth, so does shadow people activity for the very similar reasons. Only instead of full on poltergeist activity, it just breaks into little pockets of energy that creates the shadow people, which is far better, if you ask my opinion. Secondly, you get points where they veil because you got to think of the planes brushing up against each other. And sometimes that fabric is very, very thick. You can't see through it. It's like a wall. Other times it's more like a frosted window or even a stained glass window. You can't really see what's on the other side, but you can see the outline. And in many cases, that's what's happening when people are seeing shadow people. Um, and in those cases, we're actually shadow people to those people too, which is actually interesting. I need a drink. That's a lot of talking. But I hope that helps you a little. You like my ringtone? I think that's my message tone, actually. Bugs up to anyone who recognizes it. Let's see. Halloween, because I have a lot of leftover candy canes. Well, now you know. You can use those in your spell work. Candy and spell work is wonderful, actually. One of my favorite things to do and teach is actually healing spells for small kids. You slap a healing spell into a piece of candy and give it to them, and you've never seen a better way to get a kid to take their medicine. I mean, they should still take real medicine. Not saying they shouldn't. You know me. I support magic and doctors working together. But getting a kid to sit still for like energy work or something is freaking hard. But you doing the energy work on food or candy and then giving it to them, that's not hard. That's not hard at all. And oftentimes it's easier to get them to eat the candy than the chicken soup. So so yeah, using that candy in that method is pretty handy. And actually, if you were to use a candy cane or something like that to channel the energy into the chicken soup as you made it and getting into this kitchen witchery side of it, now you're channeling that healing energy into the candy and the food you're cooking, doubling up. So, you can serve them some good chicken soup. They can sit down, watch the cartoons, have them some chicken soup. That's all wonderful. And when they're done, they can have a piece of candy for dessert that's also doubling down on that healing energy. That's how you do it right there. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay, Fey Dragon says. I was thinking that Fey Dragons would use any small size as a form of change only. Honestly, things in the Fey are not small. Very, very few Fey are actually small. So yeah, Fey Dragons really don't tend to stay small. Yes, shadow people are also common in hospitals, again, for the same exact reasons. High energy and emotions. Well, if it scared the crap out of you, Oni-chan, at least you was in the bathroom. Sorry, had to. Forgive me. Bad joke, but I had to do it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much terror for something to be labeled as a shadow person because essentially it has to be humanoid and shadowy. That's pretty much it. Um, which is one reason shadow people have become one of the most common and probably misunderstood. And we need more actual data and research on it. And I would say even better categorization of them. We need far better categorization of them. Well, that's just my 2 cents. Let's see what we got here. Generally speaking, Merrick, they'll only choose to size down if they have a necessity to. Draconic cultures, size is actually an important thing to them. Kind of like you wouldn't go to a black tie event wearing a diaper and a tutu. To them, that size is a very important thing. So they're only going to size down if they have a need or necessity to do so, if that makes sense. Like co-magicians will often size down because they're older dragons. They start at like 1,000 years old and up. And because of that, well, actually, hold on. No, co-magicians don't start at 1,000. That's when a guardian goes in to get its full-time job in an element. So co-magicians are going to be well above 1,000. So they'll size down because where are you going to put a freaking full-size dragon in this room? It ain't going to fit. It's going to have to size down. So they have a need in that case, which is also why they take on a humanoid shape more often than just sizing down or some kind of a hybrid humanoid draconic shape. Because their full dragon form they usually want to have at full size. Onechan, that's possible. That's less likely to be a shadow person, more likely to be an actual entity or angel. Many countless angels have black wings. So, yeah, that could very well be some kind of an angel you saw. Let's see. Chamomile tea with milk and honey, good for kids to go to bed. That would probably work. That probably would work. See how I was actually trying to stop from phrasing it like that, but you got it. Yeah. Draconic culture where size really does matter. No, we got some good questions here. Hopefully everyone's had a good weekend. Hopefully they have. We do actually have a video coming out Tuesday that's going to help try and clear up a few of the misnomers on guardian dragons, co-magicians, and the nine rulers. I've been getting a lot of questions, and apparently there's been some confusion about these different types of entities and different types of dragons and why they're important. So we do got that coming out. Definitely check it out. And if you're not already, share some of the videos that's on the channel with people or on the social media you're on. We've saw a slight dip in our analytics. I don't know if it's holidays or if there's been a traffic change. I do know YouTube had that update to the way they do ads and stuff. And so that's going to change the algorithm a little, but I don't want to say that's affecting it. But do share the videos around. Help us out. Get this information to everyone out there seeking it. Helps a lot, and we'd appreciate it. Also, someone said the link to the Discord is not working. I checked it. If you're going to the About section on the channel, that link is still working. And yeah, do join us in the Discord. We have some nice chats over there. It's been a little quiet for the holidays. Understandable. Most people's wandering off doing things with their family, busy, all those kinds of things. But definitely join us over there. Let's see. Okay, we got some more questions rolling in. Yeah, you will see a lot of earth dragons with leaf patterns and whatnot. That's not too uncommon. Let's see here. Physical alterations by magic is usually not doable, as it would have to flow along with the natural growth process. Uh, Hellspin, welcome. See, okay, flying by here. Wasabi, I saw your comment. I looked into it, and right now that is not a direction I want to go because the particular site you mentioned currently has a lot of bad press, and I don't want to bring that onto this channel. Which is also one of the reasons YouTube blocked your comment. Oh my God, the stream conked out for a moment. Hopefully it's back. Hopefully it's back, Tara. Hopefully it's back. A plushie. What Halloween? Kawuka? I'm not sure what Kawuka is. I might be reading that wrong. Or it's something my old grumpy butt this is unaware of. You're interested in entities' names. An entity. Um, yeah, that's a left field question, no doubt. But that's okay. Left field questions are fine. Let's see here, Hellsman. The Black Serpent, perhaps Knoshu, form of the primordial serpent. Any thoughts on this? Many different traditions and cultures have a primordial serpent of some kind that represents into their mythos and lore. The name you're giving me, oh, you're causing me to like wrench open a rusted container here because that's that. I want to say that's an Egyptian entity or one of its personifications, but I'm not 100% sure on that, Hellspine. But I would check out the Egyptian on that particular one. Ona-chan, how do you do an offering? Honestly, offerings are pretty simple. Simple, I guess best word to describe it is prayer or statement of intent and setting it down on your workspace or a place set aside for it is really all you got to do. Especially with Azazel. Azazel is pretty easygoing in things like that. I mean, he's very professional and straight, very professional and work ethic focused once you're actually working with him. But for basic offerings, that's more than sufficient. He doesn't do too flashy when it comes to offerings and the like. Just leave it on your work area for anywhere from an hour to overnight. Plenty. Oh, it's an animal. Okay. See. Oh, it's a marsupial. Okay. Cool. Yeah, send me a pic later. That'll be helpful. Let's see. Oh, it is Egyptian. Okay, cool, cool. Okay. See, I was really worried I was remembering the name wrong there because I study a lot, I research a lot, but there's a reason I keep journals. It's so I can look things up when I need to. Because my wife wonders how I remember things, and it's like I tell her, my mind's like a steel trap. Unfortunately, a lot of the times it's rusted shut, and I really got to pry that son of a gun open. Another reason journals are important, people. Wasabi, if you don't. Wasabi, that's up to you. I mean, if you want to create your own channel over there, by all means do. Um, there's a lot of factors that I'm not going to get into on live stream that I got to protect the brand name and consider different things that normally I don't have to consider. In my private life, y'all know I don't give a rat's rump, but when it comes to something like this, I got to make sure I have to take more things into consideration because I do have to make sure I can get this to as many people as possible. And so I do have to take certain things into consideration. But that said, Wasabi, I will say thank you for letting me know about the site because it's on a list of other sites and stuff. Should something happen here on YouTube, which right now, I'll be honest, YouTube's been good to me. I know some people's had problems, but they have been good to me. And I do have a backup of all my videos. I keep backups just in case. So another good reason for the Discord. But let's just all, hope nothing happens with YouTube. YouTube stays up and running, working Dragon Mystic. We'll be here a while. Everything's going to be good. But don't worry, we got backup plans. But I do thank you for the information, Wasabi. And like I said, we did write it down just in case. Helston, I do work with Serpent Energy, obviously, because I'm working a lot with inside the Cliffothic path workings right now. It's not one of my main practices, but I primarily do focus on Dragon Magic and Norse Magic, which I've been lazy and haven't changed the background lately because of other works I've been doing where I've been using this behind me. So I do work with Serpent Energy somewhat, but it's not one of the main traditions I follow. But I have worked with it a lot more within the cliff off. So, Will RC, regarding servitors, is it better to set their time frame no more than a moon cycle or two? And what are some common reasons for creating a servitor? That's actually debated somewhat. Some people will say one moon cycle or two and then just make a new one. Some people say make it, just make sure you have a command word for, basically destroying it. So you have a safety protocol just in case. Me personally, I actually go with the latter. When I create a servitor, I keep it active as long as it's going to continue doing the job. And if ever it starts not completing the task at hand and not doing a good job, then I destroy it. I've never had one go rogue on me. I know that's a big issue, but again, I got the command word for destroying it. So if it ever goes rogue, boom, it's destroyed instantly. That's my personal preference. I know many magicians do it by moon cycles. So I personally say go with what feels right with you there, but make sure you do have the kill command in there. No matter what, make sure you got your kill command. As to common uses for servitors, servitors are very flexible. I mean, they're, as long as you're creative, you're usually pretty good to go. But let's see, you said common though, so let's think common. Prosperity, charisma, Energy cleansing, protection, um, boost confidence, public speaking. Some of these are some of the more popular ones that I know people use them for quite often. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Got time for a few more quick questions here. I got a busy night tonight, people. I tell you, you guys got some good questions in here. I'm starting to think you guys sat down and just thought up your questions and wrote them down this weekend. Oh, Ona-chan, man, take it easy. Have a good one. Cats do love to be around metaphysical work. They really do. Try not to lay down flat if your cat is in the room, or close the door to keep the cat out. One of the two. Because we had two cats for a very long time, 19 years to be exact. And they always loved to be in where I was working or where my wife was working. So we either had to just let them participate, or we had to put them outside the door. Uh, Kelly Delta Stella. In Chinese culture, kung fu was usual to call a wise man or woman a dragon. Would call yourself a dragon today, would it please or anger the dragon deities? Okay, this is actually an interesting question, Kelly. First off, dragons don't like to be called deities. They actually don't. Um, that would actually probably tick them off more than anything, though it doesn't tick them off. It just, they kind of roll their eyes at it. They don't like the term applied to them. But now, in the way that both Japan and Chinese cultures use the word dragon, it's the meaning behind the word, not necessarily specifically the entity. Um, and the meaning behind the word, it deals with wisdom, it deals with courage, it deals with honor, it deals with strength of character as well as strength of body. So to use the word in this manner wouldn't bother the dragons at all. It's actually very respectful, because the meaning behind it also shows respect and honor to them as well, if that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, Hellspine. Actually, it's Azonoth Mason's Sophotic works that I'm actually using to do the pathworking. I'm actually quite impressed with her writings, her details, and the gnosis that she shares. She's a really good author. I want to see more works by her. Oh, did I miss a question, Tara? I apologize, man. You know of any dragon entities that guard or live in certain regions of our planet? I'm curious if there are any large dragons of sorts that live. Large dragons, not really. The big reason for that is dragons focus on the elements of our planets, not necessarily the regions. And they certainly don't set up dominion here because of the massive primal energetic aura that surrounds an adult dragon. Their presence would actually cause massive, massive problems if they were actually to live in those areas directly. So even if they do choose to actually watch over an area, they will not actually live within this plane itself because of that. Like, I mean, it wouldn't even take one of the 9 rulers. Like a full-grown dragon would probably cause enough of an energetic shift to wipe a state out of the U.S. Just as an example of the kind of energetic destruction we could be talking. Let's see. Merrick, take it easy, man. Kelly, did you use the one in the about section? I mean, I'll go back and check it. Well, heck, I'll even rephrase it or refresh it if I have to. But I know at one point we did run into an issue with the links below some of the videos. But if you go to the about section in the YouTube channel's main part, that one should be still functional. I will double check it later tonight or tomorrow if I can. But if you've not tried going to the about section, Killa, go over there and try that. Because we had people join in, well, today actually, so it should still be working. And that's the one I checked the last night and it was working. So if that one's not working for you, Killa, let me know. Drop a message below this video when it goes up for processing and comments are allowed, and let me know that it's not working. Let's see. Monte is actually a term that was brought to dragons by DJ Conway. So they're pulling from Conway's works when they use the term Monte. But by and large, draconic culture doesn't really care about that word, not largely. It was a term of respect that she utilized. They don't mind it, but they don't, them and of themselves don't really use it. Wasabi is I'm going to assume that means the ritual to get your guardian dragon in the course. Yes. The 101 course Wasabi, not only does it lay out the foundations and everything and skill sets you need, but there's a section where you actually do the ritual to get your guardian dragon. There's a path working with your guardian dragon, and then it moves over to the co-magician. We kind of a similar repeat there, builds you up, gets that ritual done. You meet your co-magician. There's a path working to start bonding with your co-magician. And then it moves into the first 4 rulers. So yeah, it's all in that course. It is a massive course. Yep, they have to either bring only a shadow portion of their energy or size down. That's one of the reasons anytime you actually work with the rulers closer to this plane or any dragon to this plane, they take on a humanoid-like form. Keela, no problem, no problem. Like I said, just check out the about section and let me know. We'll get you in the Discord one way or the other. It's always good to have more people to talk with and share thoughts and research with. So by all means, check that out. Hopefully that one works and we can get you in there tonight or tomorrow when you have time. So, all right, people, I have got a lot to get done tonight. I got some research, got more work with Odin to do. And I actually have a meeting I got to get to. So we will have to chug our last bit of coffee and say our good nights. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic week. Do keep an eye out for the video Tuesday. And of course, I'll see you again Friday and Sunday of next week for the live streams, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. And again, do share the information. Share the videos wherever you have social media. I couldn't even name off all the social media. Y'all know how bad I am with social media. We're lucky I can run the channel. But do everything you can to have a great week. Continue your research. Continue your practice. And if you run into an obstacle, don't let it get you down. Just remember, any obstacle, that's a chance to overcome it, a chance to learn and to progress and to grow as a magician and as a person. Okay. We got us a brand new year to hit hard and grow and make great things happen. And I want to see us all do that, every last one of us. All right. So, with that, everyone, cheers and mugs up. Making a mess here. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.